Dylan, you can't have two separate drinking fountains. That's not right. Okay? It's 2021. Get with it.
That was better than the first one. I'm glad we had to do that again.
That's a racist thing to say. You're glad we had to do it again?
All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Truffle Shuffle Podcast. It is the day before Halloween, so it is officially spooky season. Yay!
Okay.
Woohoo! However, there is a somber thing happening right now. We're down a man. Austin is sadly no longer with us for this week. And moment of silence. No, he's not dead. He's just out with a cold. I wondered what you said I couldn't look at the screen for. That's not even what I was talking about. The greatest photo ever taken of Austin Raines, Burger King, back in high school.
The Burger King smile.
Oh my God. Anyways,
Look at that Edward hair.
That man is a father.
That man is I don't even know.
I actually have a present for you guys.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's right.
I don't even know about this.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, it's an actual package.
I got these, and I was hoping they were here last week when Clay wasn't supposed to be here, but then had a surprise visit.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
Please.
I am pulling out cardboard cutouts of our faces.
What the hell? Dude, these are terrible, but I love
He just
them.
laid out 4 cardboard cutouts
Where
of
did you get
all
this?
of our faces.
And we have ones with straps on them, so you can actually strap them
Bro.
to your heads.
I know what I'm being for
Oh
Halloween.
my God.
Fucking Clay from when he looked not fat. Look at that. Boom. Why are my eyes so
God,
close
that
together?
was a long time ago, Clay, when you didn't look. What?
Look at you, fucking douchebag.
Oh, Dylan.
Is that a Twitter
You're
pic?
wearing your own face. Clay,
That's
grab a
terrible.
face. Put on a face. In memoriam of Austin not being here. The straw's on the other side.
Dumbass. Oh God,
fantastic.
look at Clay. This was back when he was doing his Theory of a Dead Man hair, the
Oh, yeah.
pompadour.
The
I should
pompadour.
still do that.
Here, let's line them up real quick. Pretty nice.
There's
Pretty nice.
There's mine. Oh my God, this was the last thing I was expecting you to pull out of a package.
I know. I was like, what is gonna be here?
Oh, all right. Good times. Good times. Anyways,
That's more of a visual thing that nobody has any idea what we're.
I took a little
He
bit
just
of
took a
video.
video.
I really realized I should have taken the video for the whole thing, but you know,
It's
it
pretty
happens.
funny. It's
Oh,
pretty
it's-
fantastic.
Oh, that's good. Wait
Just
till
lots of cardboard cutouts of our faces.
It's pretty awesome.
with the eyes cut out. Clay, why is there a hole in your mouth?
Don't forget that.
No shit.
Okay, you
What?
didn't say it when we were talking at the beginning. Anyway, so
Anyways,
Austin
so
is
we
no
actually
longer-
have a follow up on last week's topic of the Alec Baldwin incident.
I was wrong. I read, unfortunately, a CNN. Anyway,
There's your mistake.
it was talking about there was also 2 misfires by stunt doubles, and then the Alec Baldwin incident. So that was there was a lot of bad conditions from what people
There's
said.
been just a lot of shit coming out about how the set and the production have
They
been
said it
working
was
on this
really
one.
bad. People were angry. They were like walking out, and then that happened.
Didn't you say like the work they were reporting like
They
extreme
weren't like
working
sleeping.
hours?
They were working on it. It's a low budget film, so I don't know.
Well, there were also reports of like some of the actors who were on their off days or whatever,
They were
just
afraid of
randomly
shit.
shooting the guns, like with
Oh,
real
I did not
real
hear that.
rounds in them.
But that's terrific.
Well,
You know.
that's not what you do on a movie
I
set.
know who didn't.
Hey.
He shot it on air.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see where the actual investigation goes because it was a live round. So
I don't think a live round should ever be on a movie set.
no,
That's
it
just
should
how
be. It's
and never a real
blanks.
gun either. Honestly, 'cause you
Unless
got-
the scene is literally of like Keanu
No.
Reeves freaking
No.
shooting on a target range,
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
like a real range.
Even at that, you don't need it. You got CGI, you got all this crap. It's 2021. I can do CGI stuff for guns. You can just do a muzzle flash and then a hole on the target and you're done. You don't need to shoot a target at all with a gun.
We have a reason that we made blanks.
Yeah.
And they've even improved
Even if you don't
on how
need the
blanks
blanks,
were
you could
from
just
the old
have the
days.
ones that are air rifles, and they look like they're firing because they're cycling the gun.
Well, it's like even the blanks have improved because like back whenever it was like the Crow, like
Mhm.
with Brandon Lee and all that, there used to be little. I believe it was like
There's
little.
still wads.
It was well, it was little plastic.
Yeah. Now it's
They had like
paper.
plastic caps or something on the blanks back
It's like
then.
the stuff they put in birdshot for shotgun shells.
Yeah.
But
still,
now
that can kill you. That
But
can kill a
now
bird,
there's no
too.
more plastic. I believe it's all just the wads. So
Paper wads, I
it's
think.
supposed to just evaporate,
Yeah,
or if
yeah.
it comes out, then it's
Disintegrate.
disintegrate.
Hopefully.
Evaporates.
Yeah, it's not water. It's not a liquid.
So anyway, yeah, I was wrong. I mean,
That's
I'm right, kind of.
You heard it here,
That's okay.
folks. First, folks. Dang it, I messed that up.
Boo.
Jesus.
And
Anyways, so I guess we should just move on to today in Florida Man history.
Let's start out with our segments. Yes. What's going on in Florida, man?
hit it with us, Alaric.
I'm loving the music. I just love it.
Okay.
Anyways, so today is October 30th, but I want Florida Man from Halloween, so we're
Basically
going
a
to
Halloween
October
episode.
31st. This is the Halloween episode. So, what we have here was a Florida man paid $150 for a full contact experience, ended up mauled by leopard.
that was 0 to 100.
Well, that escalated quickly. In Miami, in a case you'd get what you paid for, a Florida man paid $150 for a full contact experience with a black leopard, and he ended up being mauled.
Was this Carol Baskins?
Mm,
Why do we save these people? Just
And I don't. Did he die?
Hold on.
But did you die?
Will you let me get on with the story?
I'm sorry.
Dwight Turner, 50, has undergone 2 surgeries since being attacked by the animal on August 31st. His wife, Natasha Turner,
Terrific.
said in a sworn written statement to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission Conservation Commission. Dwight Turner and the leopard's owner, Michael Pogge, 54, arranged for him to play with it, rub its belly, and take pictures with it.
And Natasha said no. Natasha said, get away from.
After Pogge unlocked the leopard's cage, Dwight Turner entered and sat on a bench inside where the leopard growled and attacked Mr. Turner, biting him on the head and ear. Mr. Turner sustained injuries to the right side of his head and right ears. Mrs. Turner stated that she had to place part of Mr. Turner's scalp back in place because it was hanging off of his head and his right ear was torn in half.
Natasha, get over here.
I'm assuming he lived because they didn't say he died. So,
Does he have 2 brothers that live wherever those other 2 idiots were shooting each other?
I don't know, maybe.
Put your vest on.
It's just like with the what zoo was that where that woman crawled over jumped over the fence to take a selfie with a jaguar or something like that.
I
then it
remember
came-
what you're talking about. But
And then it came up and clawed her, and it was like they were comparing it to like the
Harambe.
Harambe thing, and people were like, well, did the zoo put down the jaguar? And they were like, no, we were more capable of shooting the woman. It was like she
It's
took
true.
like a selfie with it, and the thing came up and slashed her.
I'm getting angry about Harambe just thinking about it.
And then
Started 2020.
back in 2018 on Halloween, a man, Silence of the Lambed himself.
Put a lotion in the basket.
Florida man gets stuck after climbing down 30-foot well for bragging rights.
Lotion in the basket.
And that's pretty much just it. He just climbed down a well and then
Wow.
got stuck.
All right, well, let's see here. I didn't do Halloween, but I have May. I did the birthday, so I did May 18th, 2019. Oh, this actually says February 18th. All right, well, I'm still going to read this one because I like it. Florida man claiming to be an agent of God caught carrying rattlesnake in Jacksonville Beach. So it was a homeless man who was going around yelling at everyone that he's an agent of God, and he was carrying a large rattlesnake and putting it in people's faces. It was 6 to 8 feet in length.
Oh my God!
Imagine somebody comes up with a rattlesnake,
Got
sticks it
this
in your
snake
face,
here,
and
you
goes,
want
"I'm an agent of God." After officers arrived on the scene, they told the men to throw the snake inside their police vehicle. Police called in the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, which safely captured the snake. They relocated the snake to its natural environment. And at this time, there is no word as to why the homeless man was carrying the snake or if he even got injured while holding it. So basically, it's a homeless dude. They took his snake and they said, get back to being homeless.
All right, I got one that's Halloween friendly. Florida man arrested for allegedly assaulting girlfriend while dressed as a dinosaur. Oh my gosh. A 19-year-old Florida man was arrested for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend Saturday night. According to the cops, the man, Patrick Galway, did it while wearing the inflatable dinosaur costume. The incident started with when Patrick Galloway demanded he and his girlfriend go to a Halloween party. She's like, I don't want to dress up. I hate you guys. Anyway, so yeah, she didn't want to go. So he said, put your vest on.
Back
I
on
can't
that.
look at myself. Freaks me out.
Your handsome younger self.
I'm going to do the rest of the podcast holding this cardboard cutout of clay in front of my face.
If Austin comes back next week, we all will have his face. Is there three
There's
faces?
3 Austins.
So we're
There's
all
3
gonna
of
be
all of us.
We'll all be talking, and then we're just gonna all turn at the same time and look at him and watch him go. Oh my god! All right, so
You know, if he listens to the show, he's gonna know what we're doing.
he's not gonna listen to the show. He didn't even show up for the show. He's not gonna listen to the show.
Oh, God.
All right,
was it
on
today? He
to
had
the next.
He had a tummy
one.
ache? Is that what this morning was?
Oh yes. Anyways, we have a game segment.
Kind of a game, not really.
We have a game.
We have a game segment. All right.
Remember last week I showed you guys Mudshot, and I was like, guess what he did?
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
have 1, 2, 3, 4.
What did they do?
6 mugshots that are fantastic.
On to the first contestant.
Keep a straight face, Dylan, because these are gonna get wild. What did this gentleman do with his?
What do you think he did, Dylan?
You've got the actual
I have the
story,
actual
right?
story always.
My guess is he licked a stripper's butthole.
What's yours?
I want to say that he was drinking paint.
Close. Alex Trevette was busted for allegedly huffing spray paint. I don't know if you've seen the picture, but there was no alleged about that. He was huffing spray paint.
That's it?
That's it.
Well, now I'm
using
sad.
harmful intoxicants with the evidence all over his face.
You're supposed to spray it away
looks like
from
he
yourself,
ate a
not
gorilla's
into
asshole.
yourself.
It's pretty terrible, isn't it? It does look like he ate out
Oh,
a stripper. He
God.
comes home.
Well,
I didn't do nothing.
the first time I saw this picture, I thought it was like some nasty ass peanut butter,
It kind of does when you look at it real close.
like
Chunky.
real
Quick.
chunky peanut butter, but not like good kind of chunky peanut
All
butter.
right, you ready
Okay,
for the next
moving on.
one?
Moving on, yep. Oh, oh no.
What did this poor gentleman do?
He accidentally saw side boob and didn't apologize.
Nope. Alaric, what do you think this gentleman did?
I bet he got caught with somebody else's drugs.
Not really. Sean Sexton of Tempe, Arizona,
Of
seemed to realize he was cut out for the life of crime when he was arrested on suspicion of aggravated assault and a felony criminal charge.
Holy
He was allegedly firing an airsoft rifle at a store window when officers gave him a reality check. He's like, it's not real, see? Just imagine this kid getting tackled. Put the gun down! Put the gun down! Get on the ground!
All right. Our next one, Dylan should actually know this guy.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
Do you know who that is?
No.
It's the Weatherman.
Oh, it is? It's the
Channel
weatherman?
7.
The guy that said, you don't need to worry about this and that. You need to worry, there's a tornado coming. You remember that? That was him.
Oh, no,
The hero had fallen.
I don't watch the news.
Yeah, that
How-
was all over.
how far he has
everywhere.
fallen.
This poor man, not really poor man, he has made 2 bad decisions in this past 2 years. This was his second DUI charge.
Ah, DUI.
Shortly then after he was fired. The first one, he just came back like nothing happened. And then totally told everybody about the tornado coming. He was like, you don't need to worry about The Bachelor. He's like, you need to worry, there's a tornado coming. You remember that?
Was this the tornado we had over these last summers?
3 years ago.
Oh,
2 or 3 years ago. Went through Dayton and like destroyed Dayton.
Oh, the giant
the
one.
giant one.
That
He
hit.
came on live and he was like,
The one that took out the living room, and they totally missed the opportunity to rebrand and rebuild and call itself the Titty Twister. Like, how
the
great
living
would
room
that
is
have
the
been?
strip club.
Go ahead and press the.
No. That's a good one. All right,
That's for the
our
fans
next.
to
Just about to
decide.
say.
What did this guy do?
Oh, wait, hold up. All my friends are baked. That's what his shirt says.
What do you think he did, Dylan?
Well, right now it looks like he's swallowing his own tongue. So, I'm going to say,
Use the context clues. Use the context clues.
well, no shit, it's something involving weed. Fucking look at him. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna say he was trying to solve mysteries with his talking dog.
It's Shaggy in real life. I never noticed that.
You even got the green shirt.
All right, Alaric, what do you think?
Marijuana.
Oh yeah. Andrew
That's what I
Anderson. Andrew Anderson was busted in Kentucky when he was pulled over, and police allegedly found weed inside of his car. A tip-off might have been his marijuana-themed shirt, or maybe the look on his face. Look, that's about 15 puffs too much, there, buddy. He's just.
All right, for
The
our
last
next guy.
one is
Last one?
a
Second
whirlwind.
to last one. There's two.
Oh.
Oh, there's 2 more. Sorry.
What do you think he did, Dylan?
Oh. Well, he's...
This one's kind of freaking crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
He's shirtless, so I'm gonna guess public indecency, maybe public nudity kind of thing.
It's a nice smile he's got there for that.
I think he was on a hoverboard running or riding around jacking off on girls.
Nope, worse. Close. He was riding around. Well, he was actually running around chasing joggers with a tree cutting tool on.
With a what?
a tree cutting tool,
A
like
t-
a
like
limb
a
cutter.
chainsaw?
He was like, ah!
Like a chainsaw?
And look at him. He's like, I'll fucking do it again. I'll keep going. So yeah, this guy is insane. This guy's pretty insane too.
It looks like the aftermath of if Carrot Top
Are you
hadn't
ready?
become famous.
All right, our last guy.
He
You
dyed
ready for
his
this?
hair.
This is
All
my
right,
favorite.
Last one.
What do you think he did?
I think he was
Can I
chasing.
tell- I'll tell you his
I-
name. His name is Noel E. Dawson Jr., which is a crazy name to begin with.
I think he was chasing an alien life form named 626 across the galaxy. Doesn't he look like that big one from Lilo and Stitch? The giant one?
Like the big shark head dude?
Yeah, the big shark.
Alaric, what do you think he did?
I'm gonna think he attacked an officer or something.
No, he chased a family member with a hatchet. Thankfully, the only thing he hit was his own truck. He's like,
Oh
got my
my
Silverado. I hit my Silverado, man.
Oh man.
He's got that look like, I'll fucking do it again.
Oh, shit.
And that concludes what did they do for
That's
this
good.
week.
I like that segment.
It took me
That's
a
good
while
one.
to find those because there was some crazy ones that were like too long. I couldn't really find the whole
Good.
story. But those are like quick ones where you're just like, what the fuck?
Oh, boy.
All right. So,
Oh
Dylan,
god.
do you have a dumbass of the week?
Oh, yes. A dumbass of the week. Let's get it going.
Yes.
Wait for it.
We shall.
All right. Our dumbass of the week. This time, if I can get the page to load.
Terrific.
Well, he is the dumbass of the week, guys.
Please hold.
This is from February 21st, 2020. So right before our lovely pandemic. This is an Ohio woman.
Oh my god.
And
Serious?
I didn't send you the picture, but let me see if I can. Where is the image? This this is what Jessica Boomershine looks like. This
Oh my good
Oh
lord.
lordy.
This is our dumbass of the week. She was an Ohio inmate that decided she was going to try and break out office fire drill style. So she climbed through the ceiling
Oh my god.
in the correctional facility.
What you
And
having?
then she got about 15 feet
And then
and
immediately
fell
fell.
fell through the ceiling right into a room full of officers.
Oh, hello, gentlemen. She falls through.
The WOIO calls it a botched prison escape in Ohio that ended in embarrassing fashion. They also call it an epic fail, or should it be called an epic fall? It was all of these things for Jessica Bloomershine, who was caught on surveillance. Not only did she fall in front of the police, they got the whole fucking thing on video too.
Do they have cameras up inside?
No, not up
Oh.
inside, but it says.
Can you imagine just like,
It's-
I'm gonna escape, I'm almost there, and then you just fall, and you're like, hello,
Do you have any-
gentlemen.
It says
Officer.
she was
This
caught on
is awkward.
She was caught on surveillance camera determinedly trying to find her way out of a lounge-like area in Montgomery County Jail
Oh
in
my god, that's
Dayton.
right here!
It's right here in Dayton. Both media outlets have a clip which shows Bloomershine with other inmates casually watching. She's standing on a kiosk seat looking up at the ceiling. She
Terrific.
drags a chair
Wonder how
over,
if I
climbs
can go
atop
through
the kiosk monitor, and then removes a ceiling tile. She then hoists herself up and her legs disappear out of frame.
Oh my god.
And then
Then
it
she
says-
reappears.
The next sentence is the ceiling apparently wasn't made to be climbed on. However, the debris fall. And then she fell through and all that stuff. So she went out
That's
like
terrible.
Oscar in The Office.
Except for she fell into a room full. That's like straight out of a movie, though, really.
Yeah.
Like, oh, gentlemen.
Hello.
What did she go to prison for?
Huh?
What'd she go to prison for, does it say? These are the hard-hitting questions you must know.
Oh, Boomershine now has escape and vandalism charges tacked onto the charges she was already facing, including kidnapping, felony assault, burglary, robbery, and grand theft related to an attack on an 85-year-old man.
The fuck?
And that is our dumbass of the week.
Yeah.
Yay! Woohoo!
And now, a word from our sponsors. Taco Bell breakfast is back, and if you've been craving as much as we have, then be sure to try a breakfast crunch wrap, a soft flour tortilla wrapped around warm eggs, melted cheese, hash browns, creamy jalapeno sauce, and your choice of bacon or sausage. Or try a grande toasted breakfast burrito, a warm flour tortilla filled with grilled and marinated steak, fluffy eggs, 3 cheeses, potatoes, and pico de gallo, all toasted to perfection. Only participating locations. Taco Bell is not responsible for explosive flatulence brought on by eating their product. We're also brought to you by Barron's Barbershop in West Carrollton. Come on down to Barron's Barbershop. If you're looking for quality and want to take a step into history with antique stools and registers, Barron has been cutting hair for over 3 decades and has the skills to style your hair with class. Maybe you just need a trim, or maybe you want to try a new style. Whatever your needs, Barron is the man with the plan. Make sure to bring cash and be sure to mention that we sent you. And thank you from our sponsors.
Here to get my hair cut. Truffle Shuffle sent me.
We also have a second sponsor from our usual, my wife. She says she demands a hamburger wagon for today's use of her basement.
She told me that she had her own template, but I didn't see it.
The original thing was the template for her.
The Taco Bell one?
No, the word from our sponsor's template.
Oh.
That was
Well,
originally hers.
How about
she
this?
She picked out the
after
music.
this, we will all go over and get her hamburger
We will
wagon
go get
to
hamburger
apologize to her. Dylan, is that okay?
I wasn't listening.
If after we get done, we'll all go over and get her hamburger wagon and bring it back.
Anyways,
Because I don't eat hamburger.
since tomorrow is Old Hallows Eve or Halloween.
What?
We could do that.
Anyways,
We'll do that towards the end. Okay.
spooky stories with the boys.
When did you make all this shit?
What do you
Well,
think I've
I
been
don't
doing?
know if you know this, but there's about a week in between recordings.
Nah.
He does live here.
Spooky
Yes.
stories with the boys. All right,
Yes.
gentlemen, who wants to go first?
Let's start with Alaric's. He's actually got a story that I have actually experienced personally. that we can kind of talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All right, good
Start-
intro, Clay.
all
Good intro.
right.
This is called The Ghost of Oxford Milford Road.
Or the Oxford Light. This is like a big college town, and that's like the thing to go
In
to
Ohio.
Do,
Yeah.
to go to do.
This is Ohio. Okay.
All
Or
right.
the go-to thing to do because there's nothing else to do in Oxford, Ohio.
When
look at
Brad
corn.
Culp was a student at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, there was a rumor that the town was once of the most haunted places in America.
All right, we're gonna stop you right there. Don't read it like that. Just your normal.
Would you
voice.
shut up?
We've had 3
Would you
people
shut
click
up?
off.
Shut up! This is my house. Let me do it.
This is our idea, but anyway.
You can read your story how you want. Let me read mine.
Terrific.
When Culp started an
Jesus
on-campus
Christ.
magazine. No.
All right, now he's gone.
Fuck
So,
are you?
the Oxford Light, basically.
Anyways, I will read it normally, you piece of shit.
We
You goddamn son of a bitch.
We don't need the ghost sound effect. Oxford Light.
I don't want to
The
do
Haunted
this show
Mansion
anymore.
at
You guys suck.
Disney World? What
You
is
guys
going
suck.
on?
All right, let's.
When
hear it.
Culp started an on-campus magazine, he couldn't wait to write about several of the area's most famous phantoms. Not long after his story published, though, he kept finding himself thinking about one ghost in particular, the ghost of Oxford Milford Road. As the story goes, many decades ago, probably sometime in the 1940s, there was a young man courting a young woman in a rural part of town.
Ooh.
Because the woman's parents
Saucy.
didn't approve of the match, each night he visited under the cover of darkness. After her parents went to bed, the young woman would sneak out of her farmhouse and flash the lights of her parents' car 3 times. Then her young suitor would ride his motorcycle down the road. Clay's over here miming everything that's going
Because
on.
I've been down the road and I know this story.
Anyways.
I was enjoying the dinner and a show that I have going on in front of me.
Well, one night he took
I'm
the
the
turn
snack.
right before her house, a little too sharp, says Culp. The motorcycle went one way and he went the other. His injuries were so severe that he did not survive. Rumor has it, however, that his love-struck ghost still haunts this stretch of Milford Road.
And he never made it to her house.
That's what did not survive means.
I know, but you got to put that in there.
All right, so that's the story.
No,
So-
it's not done yet.
There's still more.
There's like
Jeez,
3
Pete.
different stories of the same story.
Curious, Culp, his girlfriend, now his wife, and a friend decided to head out there one night to see if they could verify the tale. His girlfriend was worried she'd be completely freaked out. She believes more in that stuff than I do, Culp says. But he was mostly concerned that his suspicions, that none of this was actually true, would be confirmed. On this particular night, as Culp passed the abandoned farm, an idea came to him, and he pitched it to his girlfriend. How could she not say yes? Though reluctant, she relented, and Culp turned a short way into the farmhouse driveway. He killed the engine and flashed his lights 3 times. No joke, there was a single headlight that appeared 3/4 of a mile down the road, Culp says. You saw it start to come, going pretty slow. It kept moving and moving and coming and coming. My wife was freaking out.
Closet.
I was coming closer and closer.
My
As a
humor is
collision
trash.
seemed imminent, Culp turned on his car's lights. He expected to see a kid on a bike bailing out from his pranks now that he'd been caught. But there was nothing there. The light was just gone. They got out of the car. They walked around trying to figure out what they could have seen. To this day, we still talk about it. I saw something I cannot explain, he says. If you get him and his wife around a campfire, they'll swear up and down that the story is true. And if you've ever been in Oxford, Ohio, consider parking there for just a few minutes on Oxford Milford Road
Number 4.
at night to test your own nerve.
You guys not listen to Chills?
No,
Those ghost stories?
no.
Burger King foot lettuce. You never heard that? Okay.
No.
So anyway, me and my sister-in-law and her friend, we drove all the way out there. It's about an hour away from us. We drove out there at about 1 or 2 a.m. I think Carmen was Carmen was with us. So we go out. No, sorry. I went
Oh,
out there
boy.
twice. First time was just me and my sister-in-law. We were driving around because we couldn't sleep. And we were sitting at the house that's supposedly the girl's house, and we turned our engine off and flipped the lights. And dude, it was so creepy because at first we were both just like, what is going on? like nothing is happening, and it's really creepy because there is there's corn on one side, and then it's just kind of long driveways to like.
So the house isn't
Houses.
there anymore.
No, it's there.
Oh, the
It's there
house is still there.
Yeah, it's like one of the first houses on the road. So at the beginning of the road, it turns, and then you should stop doing that. Anyway, trying to tell a spooky story, and I'm not going.
We're telling spooky stories, and Alaric is over there wearing the cardboard cutout masks.
At the beginning of Oxford Milford Road, you turn onto it from another road, and then it kind of bends around. Like there's no houses at the beginning of the road, and then you turn left and go down this big long road, and that's Oxford Milford Road. So as soon as you turn, like one of the first houses is actually the house. So you sit out in front of that, you turn your car off, you flash your lights 3 times. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, nothing is going on. So we like stared for like 10 minutes. I'm like, a car is gonna fucking come, and we're gonna get in trouble, or the car is gonna come and hit us because we have our lights off. So we're sitting there, nothing, nothing happening, nothing happening, and then we look, and I was like, what is flashing? And so we turned our lights on, and when we turned our lights on, you know those reflectors on the bottom of bicycle, like the
little red
not the
things.
tags, when on the pedals. The back
Oh,
of
like the
pedals.
little orange
It's
like
doing
stickers that
this.
they have. Yeah.
So one of the stories goes is that guy actually hit a kid on a bicycle, and he died and killed the kid as well. We're sitting there, and I still to this day was like, that's like 10 feet in front of us. There's no way, because her like running lights were still on,
Mm-hmm.
and we just see this reflecting. I'm like, okay, fucking turn on and just hammer it, and we couldn't find anything. There was nobody on the road, and it was like really dusty, so you'd be able to see if somebody was on the road. And I'm like, okay, that was weird. So the second time we went back, we it was me, Carmen, and my sister-in-law and her friend, and we go to the end of the thing. We do the lights, nothing happens. So we go back around, and as we're coming back around that turn, as soon as we get around that turn, there's the brightest light you've ever seen in your life, like floating in midair. We could see it through the trees. It was so bright. We were like, oh, it must be a flashlight or something. And I was like, no, there's no way. That's way too high. And then I'm like, well, maybe it was like a car or something that we didn't see. Again, the road's really dusty, so you can kind of see if somebody would be turning into their driveway. You'd also see their brake lights. I was like, that was weird. So we did the light thing again, and then you start to see, it's really hilly. So the motorcycle light, which looks like a very dim, like creepy ass light, you just see it come up,
Going up
and
and
over,
down.
and we had all of our windows down. You don't hear nothing. Dude, it was wild.
Why would you have your windows down? Why,
So you
why
could
would
hear
do that?
somebody coming.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, no, you need to roll that shit
Yeah,
up and lock
roll
the
your
doors.
fucking
all right?
windows up.
No, it was crazy though. It was pretty cool. We sat there and you could see it coming, and then it disappears right before it comes over the last hill to you. We'll have to do it one day. It's honestly one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
We'll do it for the views.
It's
I
crazy.
don't know if I want
It,
to.
it doesn't always happen.
I'm up.
We went twice, and it only technically only happened once.
Well, yeah, he's not just waiting there the whole time. Like, all right,
He's waiting on
Some
love.
ghosts have
gonna-
better things to do.
who's gonna do it tonight?
Anyway, so yeah, it's cool. It was neat.
There's that Pompadour kid again. I'm gonna scare the shit out of him. Let's do it.
Now
So
he's the
anyway,
angry dwarf.
It's the angry dwarf.
Shut up, dribble monster.
It's the
All right, Dylan. On to you.
All right, so let's go to the reason why this is called Truffle Shuffle. And
Oh my God, it is.
Yep. So we had a friend that
Oh.
I've known since first grade.
Michael
Did you
Myers
know him?
Turns gayest.
We all went to school together.
Huh?
We all went to Harold Chanel.
Yeah. Did anybody go with him before first grade, or is that
I
as
did.
far back as
I was in
He was in
strollers,
kindergarten with
and
me.
my mom and his mom would run, and we were in strollers together.
There we go.
Like
All
a
right,
very
well,
long time ago.
so we had a friend named Shane that we knew our entire lives, and whenever we were young, we all had our own YouTube videos or our own YouTube channels. Clay's was called Sinman95. Is that what it was?
And it's the most popular out of all of us, so shut up.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm glad you're proud of yourself,
I
man.
don't know.
2,000 followers.
We were in middle school, so very good. But so yours was Sinman95. Mine was DJ's Dumb Movies. And
Mine was-
Still a
Shane,
classic.
Shane's was called Truffle Shuffle.
No,
Films.
Shane had like 3 different
He
ones.
had a lot of them.
Goblin something.
Goblin was me.
Okay. There was Truffle Shuffle. There was Shane Miller Movies, and then
Mhm.
there was something else.
Escape the Paranormal.
Escape the Paranormal in the
But
Woods of Waste.
Truffle Shuffle Films is the only one that he kept up.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, that friend is no longer with us, so we decided to name this one Truffle Shuffle Podcast. Now, going back, Shane, we were always at his house. Basically, it's like every other weekend, whenever we were all kids, we'd be at somebody's house.
Mm-hmm.
Shane's house was always the creepiest by far,
Oh yeah.
without a doubt. He had 3 levels, so it had the basement, the main, and then upstairs. And I don't know about you, but I just never,
I
like
never
every
felt
time that we used to
comfortable.
have like sleepovers and all that stuff whenever we were little, maybe it was because Shane was always into the paranormal shit, but I never felt completely
Same way.
comfortable
Same
over
way.
there. Like it's not just like, oh, you're away from home. It's like I couldn't get settled.
Yeah.
And
You always felt like you were being watched. I always had that feeling.
Yep.
In the basement and the downstairs, or in his upstairs room, in his new room, the big one.
Yeah, he had the small one before, and then whenever his sister went to college, he moved into the bigger one, and the bigger one was creepy. I don't
didn't
know
like that
why.
one. I could never sleep in
I
that room.
don't know what. Anyway, it was just one of those feelings that you had. But his brother, his older brother, was down in the basement, and they had one of those basements where when you went down the steps, it was all. There were no doors. It was open, so you would either step off the steps to the right, and you would go into the section where
Kind of like this basement we're in right now.
yeah,
Maybe a little smaller. Not by much.
yeah, it was
But we've
small.
already established that 3 people died in this last week.
What?
Never mind.
What?
In here?
Yeah, you guys were like, I'm wondering how many people have died down
Oh
here.
yeah, that was a joke.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking. We're all serious over
Sorry,
here.
I'm in the story. I'm in the story now because I'm remembering.
Sorry,
it
we're
all.
just remembering our dead best friend. Thanks, Alaric.
Wow.
Anyway. Wow,
Rude.
okay, that got fucking real.
Sorry.
Okay, so anyway, so his basement was like you could either go to the right or you could go to the left, and you would like step off the stairs. On the right side is where his brother his room was down there because his brother was what we were back in.
His brother was in college when we were in school. No,
Yeah,
no, he was in high school when we were like were
Elementary
hanging
school.
out, and we were in elementary and then middle school.
this was during elementary school. This was
Yeah.
back. Yeah, this is back way back then. But then if you stepped off the left side of the stairs, you went into almost like their furnace area, which was like it had like their boiler and like
It's like
all
their
the
laundry room, but it has a
Yeah.
crawl space on top of the
laundry, all their appliances, and then it had a crawl space that was open.
And let me remind you, that side of the basement, it had carpet, but it wasn't finished. Like the other side of the basement was finished, so it had
Mhm.
drop ceilings, it had like wallpaper, and it had like paint on everything, and then of course it had carpet.
Yeah, walking to the right, you went into a room, and walking to the left, you went into a like a utility room, like an unfinished utility room, and they had a crawl space up there. And Shane used to he was always fascinated by like turning off all the lights in the middle of the night,
I
going
hated
down
it.
there, and he's like, yeah, man, he's like, I go and I lay in this crawl space and I see what happens, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Well, one
I
day
didn't even
we're-
like to go down there in the light because we
Wait,
filmed
no.
that one movie there, and I was like, dude, I want to get out of
yeah,
here.
there were no windows down there.
No, there was windows. There were like the frosted ones that like for basements.
Oh, didn't let any light in.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so one day it's just me and Shane at his house, and this is back in elementary school. Broad daylight, all that. We're down there. I think we were playing like PlayStation on his brother's console down there. And we start hearing shit coming from that other side. And I was always Shane was always one of them where he's like, "Oh, dude, I told you," because he was into that, and that shit always freaked me out.
Dylan's like, no.
So
no,
I was like
yes,
always
yes.
trying to make everything logical. I was like, "Oh no, is your mom washing clothes? Is that what's going on over there?" I was like, "That's just the dryer."
He hasn't been alive for 15 years. No, I was kidding.
But so we were like hearing like just I don't know, just like sounds and stuff like that. And at first you think, okay, yeah, no, it is just like normal house sounds. Then we end up going over there.
I heard somebody yell right in the middle of you talking. That was creepy.
Oh, okay.
He's here.
probably my 1-year-old.
It's probably his wife. But anyway.
But so then we went over to the other side, more so Shane went, and I was dragged against my will to the other side.
No.
And I don't remember all the little details, but I do remember that when we were in there, Shane shut off the light. And I know that this sounds stupid because you get like these stories from when you're a kid and nobody ever believes it and all that. But I swear to God, up in that crawl space where we were standing, a pair of eyes opened and they blinked at me and Shane. And that is the only time I ever recall Shane actually being scared in all my life that I knew him. We screamed, and his mom was up in the kitchen, and she swung that door open, and the light came down the stairs. And she went, "What's going on?" And we freaked out trying to tell her what was going on. And she did the typical, I'm going to calm the kids down with the mom thing. She was like, "Oh, no, I'm making lunch, and it's almost ready. So that was me. I was telling you to come on up for lunch." And it kind of calmed us down, but we were that young. But it was the only time in all my life that I knew him because at first I went, no fucking way. And then Shane freaked out.
Yep.
And I very distinctly remember seeing eyes in that darkness because they weren't white.
Yeah.
It was one of those houses where I just never felt completely comfortable. So that is my...
That house was very creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely every time I'd come over, it took me forever to fall asleep. Like, we would stay up pretty late and everything, but like, you guys would be asleep or Shane would be asleep. I'd be over there and I'm like, dude, I can't sleep.
My goal was always to be the first one asleep because I didn't want to be the last one left awake. Jesus Christ, you motherfucker.
Oh my dude, he fucking
just jumped.
I saw it coming out of the corner of my eye.
Oh man,
what's he playing and doing? All right, so on the Shane, talking about Shane.
I'm gonna kick your baby.
Back to what we were talking about with Shane. So Shane and me, Dylan, and Shane.
My heart's bouncing around like a little gerbil on a wheel in there.
We all would make movies back in the day.
Oh God!
And we would all just go. There was like these woods that were near Shane's house, and we found out we could like make movies back there. There were like bike trails, whatever. Well, come to find out, we go in there to film a movie, and I don't know. What are you laughing at now?
I'm still just laughing at how much Dylan jumped.
Oh, he jumped pretty good.
I was remembering
I was
that fucking story. Okay.
He's
was in the
fragile,
middle of it.
okay? He's fragile.
I'm telling you, that's one of them stories that will be with me for the rest of my life because that scared the hell out of me whenever I was little.
Anyway, we go into the woods and we're filming I think it was
going to kick your baby.
I think it was The Artist is what we were filming. So anyway, we go in there and we start filming and we get like one scene done and we're sitting there looking at it and then we hear somebody in the background say, "Hey." We're like, excuse me? What? And then he's like, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "Yeah, I heard that." So we started this whole journey because we were kids and bored of legit like trying to find ghosts in these woods.
Was this the one you guys went in the day or at night?
This was at the beginning when we went in the day. We were filming a movie. And I was like, man.
These were the awesome videos that
the old YouTube.
I'm gonna tell you something, dude.
That old stuff.
Some shit happened in those woods that it's same thing as Dylan. It sticks with you. You never went.
It's like
but stuff seems to do that.
The woods weren't exactly very big, but what it was is like you had like your neighborhood, you had a field, you had the woods, and then it was a dump site.
It's a dump site on the back.
But it went down into the creek, so it was
like a valley. It's like a valley.
It was a huge walk down into the creek and then back up the other side.
So for some reason,
it got worse the further down you went.
Yeah, and that's what we found. We like just a whole bunch of stuff happened in there. I was sounds so stupid because Alaric's gonna make a joke about it. I was touched many times.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Hold up your doll. Where did the spirit touch you?
With nobody around, and granted that what's his face that Shane would actually like plant random shit to scare us.
He used to go over there ahead of time.
Same thing as you. When he got scared, I was like, what the fuck's going on?
But you could always tell when he was bullshitting.
Yeah.
Because he had that smirk.
He had a
smirk on his face.
We were again, when we were younger, we were both like, we should go like into these at night because we were watching like Ghost Adventures and we are getting all hyped up.
You dragged me and Kyle into that, and
So
we
no, Kyle
hated
did
it.
not. Kyle came with us a ton.
Andy's
Andy
who I'm
hated
thinking.
that.
Me and Andy
So anyway,
hated it.
It's very scary to me now as an adult thinking of me going in there as a kid at like
With no
3
wallet, no identification,
no
no cell phone, no
cell
nothing.
phone. It was, I think it was like 3 a.m. We went out there the first time. It was only me and
always
Shane.
wanted to go at 3 because it was witch's hour.
Yeah, but we took
Fuck
we took
that.
my mom's. My mom has this like camcorder that has night vision on it. It's like old school like tape style, like small tape. So we go out there and I'm just like, oh, this is awesome. You can see through this as you're walking. You don't need like you don't need a flashlight or anything. And then stuff started to happen, and I was like, you gotta stop doing that. You're killing the mood.
Dylan is freaking like.
I'm into these stories, you jackass.
We're gonna take your freaking remote. Anyway,
Let's unplug his
so
sound bar.
one of the first things that happened is, of course, we were hearing voices and
I'm
stuff
gonna
like
kick
that.
both your babies.
So anyway,
Rude.
we were sitting there. I was filming it. I think it's somewhere on the internet still today. It's like snowing. There's probably like 2 feet of snow in these woods because it hasn't melted yet. And we're sitting there. I've got the camera on a light on the opposite side. There's no wind because I was like, oh, maybe it's the wind, because I was like trying to put it together in my head, like trying to explain to myself what is going on.
Of course.
And I'm sitting there recording and I'm not moving, and you could see the it's about, I don't know, eye height. So I'm looking at it with the camera and then it just disappears. And I'm like, maybe I moved a little bit. So I kept moving back and forth with the camera, and then again, it's still gone. And then I said, something's covering that light over there. And as soon as I say it, it just disappears and the light comes back. And I'm like, okay, I think it's time to go. So then we started venturing down more further and further into the woods. And we ended up finding 2 cars flipped over.
The cars in the
That was a weird one.
in the shack.
Because
Or was it
there was a shack. I don't know, man. That just thinking about it gives me chills because we've seen some stuff in there. I also took a ghost box down there. Whether you believe in it or not, I'm telling you, man. It said my name, it said Dylan's name, it said my brother's name, and it said Shane's name as well. And it was answering our questions. So a ghost box basically goes through all of the AM, FM bands very quickly. It's like tuck, 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 and that's just literally changing channels. So you can't really hear what's being said on the radio. And I asked it something. I said, hey, or Shane goes, hello, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And it says Clay. And I was like, that sounded a lot like it said Clay. And then I said, hi, do you know any of our other names? And it goes, Dylan. And I was like, okay, all right.
Time to get the fuck out of
And
here.
then it said, they will find us. And it's still to this day, I've never been more scared. It was daytime. And it said, they will find us. Or find you or something. And I was like,
this is why
I'm out.
I always avoided Ouija boards and all those
I don't touch
things,
Ouija
and,
boards.
Yeah,
Oh
just,
no, not the Ouija boards.
Nope, no thank you.
But it was like we used to be up in the top of those woods,
Mhm.
and we'd go in at night. And like I said, I was always the one like, oh, that's a squirrel. Ah, that's a squirrel. And it usually was because Shane used to think that every single, you're in woods with animals and wind and all that stuff, and he used to think that every single sound was something. Like, there aren't squirrels and bunnies and all that cute little stuff in there living their lives. But then whenever we got down in there and we started hearing voices, that's where I bailed.
Yeah,
completely.
because you get down in there and you're like, oh, yeah, that's a squirrel, and then you hear it running towards you. There was a couple times where we were sitting there. We had our.
You're like, bad squirrel, bad squirrel.
I'm looking at where the sound's coming from. I hear it, and I've got the camera pointed that way, and nothing. Will you quit?
You've got to tell too. If I look at you, you've got that Shane smirk on your
Destroying
face.
these awesome stories.
You said I heard them walking. I finally had a sound that worked right with it.
Well, stop. Cut it out.
Yap it.
Anyway, so I'm pointing the camera
Yeah.
right where the sounds are coming from, the footsteps, and I don't see anybody for probably at least 100 feet because it's just a straight shot down the valley, and it's just a creek.
Mhm.
And I hear it, and I hear water splashing, and I also see nothing happening in front of me. I'm like, maybe the camera's messed up. I'm like, nope. there's just nothing there, and then it just starts picking up, and it's like, oh my goodness. We can go a little longer. I think this is a good long one.
I was talking about the spooky stories thing. We can wrap that
I'm
up.
having a good time.
All right.
Don't tell me to rush.
What are we at? Lengthwise.
50 minutes.
Anyway,
We've got about 10 more.
Yep. So Woods of Waste. Yep. Screw it. That's not a good story anymore because he put sounds over top of it.
Scared the shit out of me twice.
That was pretty funny.
That first scream, oh my god, that got me.
It wasn't even that loud. That's what was so crazy. I just heard
But
it.
it was because
I was like,
that was the thing. That was in these headphones. It didn't sound like a sound effect. I thought somebody actually screamed. I was like, oh my god.
Alaric, do you have any spooky stories?
That
I told my spooky
No,
story.
that you've actually
that
you've actually had.
No,
In this house?
I lived a very sheltered life where I avoid everything of the occult and spookiness.
Your dad's house or your
This-
parents' house did give me vibes.
Why?
don't know.
Your house over there, yeah, whenever you were with your family, it gave me vibes, but it was nothing like Shane's.
No. But I did not like being there. At
No,
night.
I had never felt
other
any
than when
kind
we
of
were
fear in
drinking.
my house.
Other than when we were drinking Svedka raspberry vodka like fucking 15-year-old women. When we were like 16 in high school on New Year's, you remember that?
Boy.
We were so excited, like, dude, I got vodka, and you pull it out, and
We
it's
got
Svedka.
spritzers.
I'm like, oh my god. But anyway,
I've got another story. It's not necessarily spooky, but so we could kind of like wrap up with something a little bit nicer. But it did happen, and I'll never forget it. And it involves it involves like things that you can't see.
Mhm.
So you guys know obviously, but for the two people listening, my younger brother has cerebral palsy, and they say like animals and sometimes people with disabilities or handicap and all that, they can
see,
they can kind of like sense things. Like Dalton has his name's Dalton. He's never dealt with death the way that anybody deals with. He sees it as, oh, okay, like they're gone and all that. But then you'll talk about them, and he'll still talk about them like
they're here.
yeah, like he knows them. Like it could be like like you put down a pet or something like that, and then he'll do his sign language, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, she's very happy, and you're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
But one thing I'll never forget is whenever we, oh God, years ago, over at my dad's house, probably about 2:30 in the morning, something like that. I woke up, and me and Dalton's rooms were right next to each other, and he was just going he was going crazy in his room, like not like freaking out, but like he was excited. It sounded like he was laughing and
Really?
playing and all that stuff. It's the dead of night.
That's creepy.
And I was kind of like, what the hell is going on? But I walked into his room, and I had the whole light on, and when I opened his door, he was laying flat on his back in bed, but he was staring straight above him, and he had his arms up and a big smile on his face. And he was, how, you guys know Dalton, how his eyes kind of shake sometimes, like when he's focusing on something. He was looking dead above him, almost like he was playing with something. But there was no there was no fear.
Yeah.
And then when I opened the door, I froze instantly. He looks back at me, looks straight back up again, and then looks around like, oh, where'd it go? And then he looked back at me, and he was like, ah.
I've had the cats do that.
and
the
I was
cats will
like,
just be like looking in one
"What?"
direction, and they're both like focused, and you're like,
But
do you
there was
see
no
over there.
There was no fear or anything like that. He wasn't in any pain. Nothing was messing with him. It was almost kind of like a guardian angel style thing.
Interesting.
Like because he was really young.
Did anybody
at the
pass away around that time?
I have no idea, honestly. It was one of those where it's like we were really young, and it was just kind of looked like one of those like where he couldn't sleep, and I don't know if maybe he got scared or what, but it's like he was
Somebody
interacting.
came to comfort him. Or
He was interacting with something,
It's crazy.
but he was very very happy with it. So we'll end it with a happy story.
Happy notes.
happy.
Then let me come in here and ruin it all with
Oh shit!
Clay's shitty jokes of the week.
I forgot we didn't do them.
All right.
Really shitty jokes with Clay.
So Dylan, why can't bicycles stand on their own?
Why?
Because they're too tired.
Next.
I asked a Frenchman if he played video games, and he said, "Oui." Dude, this one got me so hard. Okay.
You gotta speak up a little bit so that they can hear it.
What did the ocean say to the beach? Nothing. It just waved.
All
All right, let's take a dark turn.
A dark turn.
What's the difference between a mosquito and a porn star?
I know this.
One stops sucking when you smack
when
it.
you smack it.
So this is the last one, but it's very dark. Terrific. That one was for Alaric. Anyway, my girlfriend's dog died, so I tried to cheer her up by getting her an identical one. It made her more upset. She screamed at me, "What am I supposed to do with 2 dead dogs?" So, yeah, Clinty shitty jokes of the week.
Yay.
Is there a voice thing on mine? Mine sounds a little echoey.
No.
Are we sure?
Sometimes
little
the other
echoey.
mics pick up yours as well.
I don't think it is.
So to anyone who listened to last week's podcast,
We
the one where we were in
apologize.
a fishbowl, turns out that a 7-second update fixed all the problems whenever we finished recording.
We even showed up early. We
Yep.
did a test recording and everything.
So
And then we're
now,
like, couldn't figure it out.
now we check for
updates
every
on
time.
Fridays.
We're gonna be watch this. We're gonna be halfway through an episode one day, and it's gonna require an update, and it's gonna switch to fishbowl.
Can you
on
turn
us.
automatic updates off?
It won't have an issue if it's being actively used.
There we
Okay.
go. All right.
That's good. Well, that's just about all.
That's pretty much all I got for the day.
That's all I got, everybody. All right. So thank you for joining us this week for our spooky stories. Have a lovely Halloween with your friends and family. Check your children's candy. You know what they say.
You might get a vaccine in there. That scared Dylan.
Nah, not that one. Not that one.
That's okay.
And we're going to wrap it up there because I'm going to go punch Alaric for all the sound effects today. So y'all have a lovely... If you want to keep rolling...
No!